I like doing things that no one has ever done before, and Mario Odyssey is my favorite game, so I had to find some kind of challenge that hadn't been done. This was a hard task, obviously, almost everything has been done at this point, but surprisingly, not this challenge. Can you beat Mario Odyssey without pressing CR or CL? This removes many of our movement options, such as diving, rolling, ground pounds, or even going into pipes. We're doing this in single player as well, because 2-player mode is practically cheating. So without further ado, let's see if this challenge is possible. The first two kingdoms are like tutorial kingdoms for the game, so we don't have much issue with them. There is one little hurdle at the top of Top Hat Tower though. To exit the sub area, you need to open the door with Cappy, but you cannot turn into Mario here because you need to press CR to exit the capture. Without multiplayer to use Cappy, there's just one simple solution, and that's restarting the whole game, this time on assist mode. Jump to the void as the frog and get bubbled back as Mario, simple. The rest of Cap and Cascade did not give any trouble, but I got this clean Madame Brood fight without backflips. In Sand Kingdom, we can start to see many of our limitations. Obviously, we can only walk, so that's gonna slow the whole run down. We cannot enter this pipe, we cannot do employees only, or the cactus moon, or where the birds gather, you get the point. Even with these limitations, Sand Kingdom is huge, so we can just grab other moons and move on. Lake Kingdom was easy. After being able to do lakescape like this, we can grab a fish, get a ton of moons, and beat Rango. Same can be said about Wooded. Catch an uproot, or be an idiot like me doing complicated jumps instead. I didn't even need to be Spewer here. Cloud Kingdom doesn't even make a single difference here. I'm starting to think this challenge was a joke. Thankfully, in Lost Kingdom there is some kind of challenge. To leave the kingdom you need Cappy obviously, but if Klepto steals Cappy, you can no longer get him back, so we need to grab the 10 moons without activating Klepto. It took me a bit to figure out how to do jumps like this without diving, but in the end, we can skip Klepto. The 10 moons are pretty straightforward, but some of them are out of our way because we cannot ground pound to get some of the easier moons. With that said, we can go on to Metro. If for some reason you were wondering if Metro Impossible was possible, don't worry because it's not even close. The rest of Night Metro is possible, of course. In fact, Day Metro was also possible, but it just took a while. In Snow Kingdom, there's just enough moons that we're able to get this way. This jump to the Spinies in particular did take me some time, but I got it done. Seaside might be the most laughable joke in this challenge. Get everything with gushions and fish and that's it. Luncheon Kingdom also limits some of the moons we can get, but just grab the ones out of the way and do some story moons. Captures in this challenge really are a cheat code. Except when they're not available. You see, in Ruin Kingdom, there's a dragon. This dragon has to be beaten to finish the kingdom, and to beat him, you need to ground pound 3 times on its head. You could beat this in 2-player mode, but since this is a single-player challenge, that's out of range. And as you probably know, there's no way around this. So sadly, no. You cannot beat Mario Odyssey without pressing ZR. Our minimum right now is 3, so let's try to keep it at that. Thankfully, we're near the end now, so there cannot be much left. In Bowser's Kingdom, it's all mostly okay up until the Ogre. You heard me right, the Ogre, which you need to kill by ground pounding on its head. You would think this would be our 4th 4CR press, but there's one more way to kill an ogre, and that's by poking him with a Pokio. There's a Pokio on this island, but it's all the way behind this tall wall, so that's also a dead end. Well, it actually isn't a dead end. By using the skills I learned along the way, I can trick jump from here to the other side of the wall. We can now grab the Pokio and kill the ogre and continue the kingdom. Everything else here is pretty simple. Kill the mech with the Pokio and that's Bowser's Kingdom done. Moon Kingdom is the last thing we need to conquer. Since I'm too lazy to do Moon Cave, I'll skip it. Thankfully, this trick is still possible by doing a triple jump. The only thing left is to defeat Bowser and beat the game. The challenge itself, while it had some cool tricks, was just annoying because of how slow you go and how many limitations there are, but it was kind of underwhelming. I can now answer that no, you cannot beat Mario Odyssey without pressing CR, unless you map the buttons on the controller. I bet you thought of that. The minimum presses in single player is 3, but could be done with the use of 2-player mode. With that said, if you like the video, let me know if you'd like a follow-up video talking about the exact number of moons you can get this way. Anyways, thank you for watching.